It gives me great honor to welcome on stage Ms. Daisry Mathias, the Presidential Advisor for Youth Matters and Enterprise Development, for our keynote address for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
Thank you very much, program directors, senior government officials present, sport commissioners, presidents and chairpersons of the National Sporting Codes, sponsors in the form of MTC, members of the media, distinguished invited guests. I recognize the presence of the Inspector General. A very good evening. Sport signifies a number of factors for the inhabitants of our Namibian house. First and foremost, sport has the ability to unite people by bringing people together from all walks of life in celebration and in admiration of athletic artistry. Who can ever forget the sensational victories and the contributions of sportsmen like Ananias Shikongo, Frank Fredericks, Dan Craven, Jacques Berger, Harry Simon, Paulus the Hitman, Indongo, Monica Dahl, Gabi Arons, and Luket Swatboy. But before I continue, I want to stop and just ask Tim a question. Tim, how did you know I was going to acknowledge the legends? Or who will ever forget how we came together as a nation just 2 years ago when the brave warriors brought the COSAFA Cup back home? Sport definitely transcends boundaries and unites us beyond race, color, and creed to foster a spirit of nationhood and social cohesion. Secondly, sport presents the opportunity to contribute towards our country's agenda for development, our social progression, and economic transformation. It is definitely an avenue that should be harnessed to create wealth, especially for the young. Sport is also important beyond just the entertainment aspect because it imparts profitable values and produces role models, men and women of excellence, from whom both we, the young and the old, can emulate the values of discipline, commitment, consistency, tenacity, and teamwork. We have all heard and internalized the clarion call of our President, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, that of an all-out war against poverty and corruption. There are many examples to draw from across the continent and the world where men and women have risen from the doldrums of abject poverty to the lofty echelons of stardom and wealth. Sports is transformational, and it does offer an avenue out of poverty for many of our young and gifted. However, in order to realize their talent and potential, we need to ensure that appropriate infrastructure, administration, and support services are in place to create a conducive environment for athletic success. It is therefore paramount for the private sector to continue in partnership with government in ensuring that we create access to the opportunities for those athletically gifted Namibians to excel at the highest of levels. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret that our president is a keen sports enthusiast, and in particular of the game of football and tennis. His passion is made visible when he draws examples from sports and applies them in the context of politics, leadership, and governance. As an example, recently when assenting the legislation of the Whistleblowers Protection Act, which is an instrument aimed to mitigate corruption, President Geingob cautioned for these freedoms to be used responsibly by drawing similarity to the game of football, where we all know that sometimes a false whistle may be blown at a very crucial point in the game and in an unfair manner. He is essentially encouraging all players and spectators to play by the rules. Fellow Namibians, we are observing diminishing levels of trust all over the world and also in our country, not only towards political leaders, but also among different stakeholders, including the sporting fraternity, the private sector, and publics at large. President Geingob refers to the mathematical formula that of accountability plus transparency equals to improved levels of trust, A plus T equals TR. This is a concept that has become his leadership mantra and indeed one of the central tenets of the Harambee Prosperity Plan's desired goal and outcome to deliver improved, effective governance and improved service delivery. More must therefore be done, should be done, and will be done to strengthen the processes, the systems, and the institutions that are responsible for the administration of our national sporting codes. The President's call to improve public levels of trust is therefore one that we should embrace and one that is to be applied by all in a day-to-day governance of this public good that is sport. As I draw to a close, the spirit of Harambee is one that calls for a culture of collective and collaborative efforts in order to propel our development forward. In government, we have drawn from the values that you espouse in the sporting fraternity, those of unity, of teamwork, and hard work, pulling together towards our common goal. Every recipient of an honor this evening is one who has tasted defeat, and every winner symbolizes the fighting spirit of the Namibian people. Those challenges and setbacks that we have experienced in our national development journey thus far should therefore not become an end in themselves, but should rather give us the courage to persevere, to endure, to never give up. Because in the words of one author, victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. As citizens and as individuals, we should never stop fighting to achieve our goals. And as a nation, we should never stop believing in the possibility. In conclusion, His Excellency the President is on record, I think, having said to Ricardo Manetti and the boys when they brought the cup home, that we should banish the days when we were happy to just participate in tournaments. We have to compete to win. And this evening, we have witnessed, and we're here to celebrate your outstanding achievements. We congratulate you, and I thank you for your kind attention.